Hi, everyone. This is Paige Martin with Paige Martin Books and Art. Thank you so much for logging on to the Handmade Dolls app. Today, we have Miss Tracy Perry, who is from Central Virginia. Am I correct, Tracy, in saying?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
she's been making dolls for over 30 years. She has some of the most beautiful dolls that are on Instagram, and that is where I actually found her. And I've been following her work for a while, and I just wanted to know a little bit more about her and why she creates these beautiful dolls. And so we're going to give Tracy the floor to give us a little bit more of information about herself that she wants to share. And we'll get into some good stuff. So, Tracy, anything else that you want to let the doll community know about you?
Yeah, well, pretty much I'm from Central Virginia. I'm a veteran,
Okay.
Air Force.
Thank you. Thank you for your
Uh,
service.
Thank you. And I've been sewing for a very long time. I learned how to sew by hand when I was a little kid
Okay.
from this little lady in our neighborhood. She used to sit on her porch and hand sew, and nobody in my family sewed. So she showed me how to thread a needle and my first little bit of sewing. As I got older, life took me away and joined the military and everything. But when my daughter was little, I couldn't find any like soft brown dolls or anything for her. So one of the first things I made was like a little brown pillow doll. My daughter was like 6 months old, and it was a little doll, had a little musical heart. And after that, I started making dolls. I sold my first doll at a garage sale in Florida. I was so ecstatic. It was like, this is great. So
It was probably worth more than what you sold it for.
yeah, it was. There was a lot of experimenting to get that doll just right. And with every single doll I sell, I kind of hate to see them go. It's like I want to keep it for myself.
Yeah, don't I feel the same way every time I even if someone commissions a doll from me, and because I work so hard at it to make sure that it's perfect for them, by the time it's done, I'm just like, I don't want to let it go. So yeah, that's something that we absolutely do share.
Yeah.
Well, I know you make other things other than just the soft dolls. You mentioned you work with clay. So how do you implement clay into some of the dolls that you make? That I don't think I've ever seen those, though. I don't think I've ever seen your clay dolls.
I've sold all my clay dolls.
Okay.
I do have one large one. I probably should have brought that so you could see. But I love cloth. I love fabric. But I also love clay. I like the feel of it when I'm making a doll. And I found that I'm really good at just sculpting. Not great, mind you, but just kind of good at sculpting. And I love to, you can do a lot more with it. So I started out making just a few little clay dolls. The first one I made was a little tiny one like that. She had little, like that. And she had little joints in her arms and her legs. And her name was Brownie. I remember that doll.
Okay.
She sold. I hated to see her go. She was the only one. And then I had another one that was I think she was a fairy or something. But I started doing the clay, and it was good. And I still have all my clay stuff. I plan on going back to it.
Okay.
And I also did soft sculpt for a couple of years. And a lot of people don't really know what soft sculpt is. It's when you get like stocking
in the community for those who don't know. Let us know what soft sculpt is.
Yeah, soft sculpting is, for me, when I started, is basically you get not fiberfill. I started with styrofoam, and I carve it into like maybe a skeleton or a skull, and then I put batting over that, and you basically just pat it, and then you put like a nylon or a t-shirt fabric over it, and you sculpt it, and you sculpt it into a character. I did that for really when I first seriously started making dolls. I started doing that, and those dolls were pretty pricey. For me, pricey. I was like $200, $300.
Yeah.
But the issue with that was it was hard on my hands. I tend to have problems with my hands, and the soft sculpt was really hard for me, like the hand sewing and the pushing and I cut my hands with razors, trying to cut the styrofoam, and I could never recoup the cost of the doll. I think I put maybe 20, 30 hours into making a doll. and then you turn around and sell it, and really it's a $500 or $600 doll, but you can't really ask someone $500 because they don't know who you are.
Right.
So the few people who have them, hopefully they'll be valuable one day. Yeah. I have one downstairs of my husband in his military outfit. I did the complete body, his face, his hair, his uniform, all his clothes are removable. His little arm comes up and he can, I have the little string, he can hold his arm up as he salutes. So I love making them, but it was so hard on my hands. I had surgery on my thumb a couple of years back.
Gotcha.
And I don't want to say it's arthritis. I refuse to claim it, but I've had surgery on my hand, and my other hand does bother me sometimes. So I cannot do that type of work, not for a long period of time. It really hurts. So then I decided, it's like, I'm just going to start making cloth dolls. I already had a bunch of patterns for cloth dolls. I had the patterns for the bodies that I used for the soft sculpt dolls. So I just work out a pattern, find a pattern. And that's kind of how I came up with the dolls that I have now. It was like trial and error. I made a bunch of different cloth dolls. I did like paint over cloth. I had like the oil paint, faces, and I've done all that. But this particular doll, I wanted something to represent like the female figure. Yeah. I wanted something that you could look at and say, oh, that's a woman, So
what I really like,
the curvy doll.
What I really like about your dolls, now I love the big eyes, and we're going to drop some pictures right below the video so that the audience can see exactly what I'm talking about. I love the big eyes and how they kind of sit on the side of the face. You could tell that they're just very well made. You could just tell just by looking at them how well made they are. So you mentioned that your husband, you made a doll that's kind of in the image of him. Do your dolls have themes, and do they have a name? Have you created any particular name for them?
I did, but I hadn't gotten it copyrighted, so I was kind of like, do I want to call them that? I call them Calypso dolls. Okay. And the only reason for that, because they made me happy and they made me smile, and every time you think of Calypso, you get a little happy, and the dolls kind of make me feel like that. So I call them my Calypso dolls. Okay. And I used to actually market them like that, and I was like, I don't know. I haven't done enough research to see if this is trademarked or not. So I just started calling them, Tracy Perry dolls.
Okay, I got you.
But I have a particular theme, other than I want them to be, I thrive for the feminine form, just the curviness of women. And I don't know why. I think because my mother was a really curvy woman, and when I was a kid, I always used to want hips. So it was like, I could not wait till I got older to get hips. And I swear I did not get hips until after I had my daughter in my mid-20s. So it's just something that I've always admired about women.
Okay, now why dolls? Out of all the things that you could have made, what drew you to dolls in particular?
I really kind of wanted images of Black people. That's kind of how I started, because I knew there weren't a lot of dark cloth dolls out there. And I wanted to make something that I could give to one of my relatives, and it's like, oh my God, this is beautiful, because they don't know anything about art dolls. They just know cloth dolls. And so I wanted to let them know that you can make cloth dolls. I could have cloth dolls that are more artistic.
Yeah.
I did dolls because it kind of came from sewing, since I love to sew. I have done quilts, which actually I'm going to get back into that too, because I actually really love doing quilts. I haven't done them in maybe 10 years.
Yeah, quilts are always fun. They just seem like they're so hard. I was saying quilts are fun.
You to learn.
Yeah.
The quilts?
Yes.
Oh yeah. When I made my daughter her little pillow doll, I made a little quilt for her as well to go in her bassinet or in her crib. And she lost it when she was 3. We lost it at a bus stop or something. And I can't tell you how devastated I was.
Yeah.
But with dolls, it allows you to, I'm a fixer. I'm a tinker. I like to go in and figure stuff out. And with cloth dolls especially, you got to really think about it. And I try to always make people think about this. Just artists in general take nothing. They could take like a stick and a piece of cloth or a piece of plastic and some paint or some yarn and create something just absolutely fantastic. Yep. And when people look at a doll, they got to realize, this is why I love doll artists, because you got to think this person took what you see every day and didn't even think about and created something just absolutely amazing. And that's kind of why I like making dolls, because I get that opportunity. I get so happy with myself when I figure something out. It's like, oh my God, I could do that. You probably know that too. It's like you go in and you're like, I can't believe I figured that out. I can't believe I decided to do that. That's why I love making dolls.
Now, did you have a favorite doll as a child?
Oh yeah. The first doll I ever had that I remember was a brown baby doll that my mother bought me. And, I didn't really live with my mother. I was kind of like in between families. So this was something that I cherished a lot. So when she brought me this brown doll, it was a little baby, probably about, my camera said, a little brown baby. I was the first person in my whole neighborhood to have a brown baby doll. Oh my God, I took that doll with me everywhere. I remember taking her to the playground and putting her on the seesaw with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that was my favorite. She didn't have any hair. Her eyes opened and closed. And I'll tell you a funny thing. My cousin painted some glitter on her eyes. And he was like a year older than me. I beat that boy like he stole something. So that was my baby.
Right. Let me ask you this. What do you want to be remembered for as a doll maker and your art? What are you trying to convey to other people? What message do you want them to receive from your art?
I guess I really want to, it's going to sound kind of silly, but I want people to remember my art as something that made them smile. Okay. I want them to be able to look at my dolls and just be like, wow, this is so well made and she's so cute. And I just love having this with me, and it makes me smile every time I look at it. Okay. It's like, that's kind of what I want people to take away from it. Sometimes I wish I could be more editorial and do like some really hardcore things and, but I decided I'm going to go with where I flow. This is how I flow. And the thing I just love to make people smile. I like to see the look, and maybe it's kind of selfish. I like for people to get the dolls like, oh my God, I love this. I like it to be something that touched them, that reminds them of something that they wanted.
Now, because they're soft fabric dolls, would you say that they're child friendly?
Honestly, my dolls are. Okay. I just don't market them like that because they can be washed and they don't have any pins, any wires. They're soft and they're hard and soft at the same time. I don't. I brought one.
I'm so glad you brought something. Yeah, I love it.
One of the newer ones, but they can be put in the wash. I've washed them before, and the only thing is with the hair. Actually, I like the hair better after it's washed. I put them in the wash. I don't wash them before I send them to people. I just let people know they can wash them.
Okay.
The yarn will shrink up a little bit. You have to put on like a gentle cycle in the dryer. I would gentle dry the gentle wash, gentle wash, gentle dry, because I don't like the. So it may fade a little bit on the eyes and something. But if you put it on a gentle wash, it's safe. So kids can have them. Kids can play with them. And actually, when I do shows, it amazes me that the little bitty kids, they like the biggest dolls. They will come up and grab the largest dolls. But it's okay, because if they get dirty, I know I can take them home, throw them in the wash if I need to. And kids can play with them. Adults can play with them. I've also found, I had someone tell me that their son was autistic, and she was like, oh my God, he loved that doll so much, just to have, because it was just something he could play with. He liked moving the arms and I was really surprised, but I was happy to know that. So, they're for everybody. I market them to adults because I have a lot of collectors.
Yeah.
But I don't market them to children only because I did sell one of my Panther dolls. Well, I gave one of my Panther dolls to a coworker for her 2 sons, and one of her sons just ripped the head off. So,
yeah, that it's kind of like when you realize that your doll has been torn apart. That has happened to me before, and it's like a slow death.
Yes. It really is. It really is.
It is.
I was really hurt. I wasn't so sad for myself. I was sad for him because I only made, at the time, I had only made 3 of those. And then since then, I've made 3 more. And I got one for myself now that I keep here. That's my own personal collectible. So, I was sad for him because then, after Chadwick Boseman died, of course, she reached out and said, "Do you have any more of those dolls?" I was like, I have the one that I have in my collection. So,
yeah.
And I didn't know if my heart was in it to make any more because I was sad. And that's the other thing, I don't know if you experienced, but as a doll maker, I have to be kind of in a good mood to make my dolls. I don't want to make them in a bad mood. I want to be in a happy place mentally to make the dolls, because I feel like if I'm angry and I'm, in a bad place, then it might show up in the work.
I haven't experienced that yet. I love creating. I just love it. So I haven't, which is the reason why that's what I do, like almost 100% of my time. So it's like an escape for me. I'm the only female in the house. I have sons and a husband, and they think differently, so it's like an escape for me. And it's something that I can definitely control. Because you can't control 2 boys and a husband. You just can't do that. But so it's always fun for me. So I haven't had that experience yet. But when you were touching on when I asked you, were they child friendly, I have had people purchase the dolls for their children, and once they receive the dolls, they're like, no, we're going to put this very high up on a shelf. So I didn't know if you had that same experience as well. Some of them do buy them for children. I have no idea what it looks like at this point, but many people just would rather it be a keepsake or an heirloom doll. That's what they use it for. Yeah. So
I actually just experienced that. Yeah.
Okay. Now you mentioned your patterns. Do you create your own patterns for your dolls?
Yes.
I love that. I love it. And they look like they're kind of tall. What is the height of yours?
I've got sizes. The smaller one is 19 and a half inches.
Oh, and this
is a 19 and a half inch doll.
Okay.
And I just meant from the bottom of the feet standing up.
To the top,
This is a small one. The medium size, which is the one I love making, these are the larger ones.
Okay.
They range anywhere from 25 to 26 inches.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can see the difference there.
Yeah, I can, when you hold them up, I can definitely see the difference. Now, I would have thought that your smaller doll was your largest doll, but it's not.
No.
Okay.
No, I actually have another smaller size doll that I do make that's 15 inches, but it's a different pattern. And that is one that I made like some Hillary dolls, and they are the 15 and a half inch size. I don't make those as often because honestly, the smaller dolls take just as much work as the larger dolls. And I have found my personal preference is the larger one. And this isn't even the largest one. This is just a 26 inch one. I make a 30 inch one too, or 29 and a half to a 30 inch. And they basically are the same pattern.
Okay.
I just made a bunch of puppet dolls for a lady out in California, and she got like 3 of the 30 inch dolls, one of the 19 and a half inch dolls.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you some outro questions because we are ending, and these are more like your personality questions.
Okay.
What is something that you collect that you don't produce yourself?
Ooh. I don't collect dolls.
Okay.
And the only reason for that is because my husband would put me out.
Well, you're better than me because I make dolls and I also collect dolls, but they're more antique. I like old dolls.
I see. I do. I will admit I have like 2 or 3 that I do have.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I can't. Because if I start there, it's going down the rabbit hole. Y'all may never see me again. Because I love dolls. I love other people's dolls too. But I have made it a point. No, don't you get it? Because you don't have nowhere to put it.
Right.
I don't really collect a lot of stuff. Well, actually, the only thing that I collect are tins and cans.
Okay.
Like decorative tins and cans.
Okay.
And I have them around here somewhere because I put them in put in my sewing stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
I love little unique tins, little unique cans. Just even cookie tins. If I see something that's got like a really pretty top on it,
yeah, you'll collect it.
Yeah, okay. I love it.
If you could commission any artist, living or dead, to create art for you, who would that be?
Ooh. Okay, it would be Kahinde Wiley.
Okay. You like his work.
You got to throw in there if you had the money to.
Yes.
Because,
well, hey, this is a reach. This, if I could,
Yeah, if I could. His work is just, it's beautiful. I went to the museum when it was here and saw it, and I guess I'm that child. It's like when I see something. My husband is like, I know he wants to just be like, oh my God, here she goes again. Because I'm so like a kid. I was like, oh my God, did you see that? Did you see that? I was like, did you see the details? So yeah, it would be great. Absolutely great to have like a painting done. Just he could come here and do it on my blue wall.
Okay, one last question for personality. If you could learn any skill, what would it be?
Ooh. The one that I've been putting off and putting off and putting off.
What's that?
I don't know if that's a skill, but it's like I want to be fluent in Spanish and French, but mostly Spanish to start off with. And I've been putting it off. The pandemic is a perfect time for me to go and dive into it now. But I wanted to because I've read all these people say you can be fluent in 6 months. Oh my God, I need to get on it.
Okay. Now, these are this and that questions, either this or that. Would you rather read a book or go to a movie?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I'd rather read a book.
Okay.
I would.
Okay. Morning or evening?
Evening. I'm just not a morning person.
Not a morning person. Flowers or trees?
Ooh, that's a real hard one. I'm a tree hugger. I'll just say trees. I love trees. I love flowers too, though. So yeah,
but
I got some down in my sunroom. Yeah, but I love trees more.
Okay. Hot chocolate or coffee?
That's another hard one. I'm gonna go with hot chocolate. Coffee's good. I drink coffee every single day, so it's like no wow factor to it. But hot chocolate gives you that warm feeling, like ooh.
Okay, Hobby Lobby or Michael's?
Michael's.
Puzzles or board games?
Ooh, I'm gonna say board games.
Okay.
Because my kids, we have a tradition of sitting around, like we just did it. After Thanksgiving, put up the tree and we sit down and we play Monopoly. So, and they're pretty competitive.
Okay. Gardening or shopping?
I'm going to say gardening.
Okay. You have a garden? Do you have a garden?
I did until the groundhogs came and
Well, they just mess up everything.
Plants inside now. I have inside plants, and on my deck I have plants. Yeah, I love dirt. I like to feel the dirt in my hands. You know, I like it.
Okay, last one. Drawing or painting?
Painting for me. I'm not that good at drawing.
Okay.
But painting, I love to paint, even though I'm not that great at painting though, but it's something soothing about it. It's like just soothing and being able to mix the colors together. I can't really do that much with pencils and pens. I'm not that great, but painting.
Okay, well, I just want to say thank you so much, Tracy, for taking out some time to come and talk to us on the Handmade Dolls app and introducing yourself to the community. Let us know where we can find you if we're looking for you on any of your social media, or if you have a website or whatnot.
I am Seems Like Tracy, and that's SEAMS. Seems Like Tracy, just TRACY, on Instagram, on YouTube, and my shop is called Lively Folks on Etsy, and that's with a capital L.
Folks, okay.
Yes, Lively Folks. It's a capital L, capital F, and that's on Etsy.
Okay.
And that's all I have out there now.
Okay, now. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time, and we appreciate you sharing all of your great goodness with us artistically. And we are going to drop some of her pictures of her art right beneath the video, and we will see you guys later. Thank you so much, Tracy.
Thank you so much for having me.